Alright, my brothers, if you're watching this video, I hope you can relate to me, because man, I'm about to drop a bombshell. So, I got this idea because I made a video about, like, how I feel about dating apps and all this stuff, and this is my opinion, okay? Dating apps suck, we all know that. Social media has destroyed relationships, we all know that. But in my personal opinion, and brothers, you have to hear me out. And girls, just listen, please. Let me give two sides of the POV, because I'm going to think about both sides here. For a man, okay, doesn't matter the age, for a man, actually, no, it will be, because your earlier ages is probably more mature or less mature than if you're, like, say, 30 plus or whatever, okay? But anyways, the idea here, if you're a dude and you're trying to go for a girl, it is probably 100,000 times harder to be in a relationship or get into a relationship with a woman than it is for a woman to get in a relationship with a dude. Because here's the way that I see it as a dude in 2025. If I like a girl, say if I'm at a bar, which really I'm never, or I'm out in public and I see a cute girl walk by and I'm like, oh God, how old is she? I hope she's like 21 plus, because that's what I go for, right? Obviously you ask. But then they immediately are like, oh my God, you're trying to ask for my number, I got a boyfriend. Like, bro, no, I'm just asking you how old you are. That's it. I'm not asking anything else. And it's the rejection part when you're actually trying to go for something. So you're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Like, I'd love to take you on a date or something. And you're like, no, I got a boyfriend. Here's the thing. Okay, now, women, listen to me. I have two sisters, so I understand this in a certain aspect. When a guy approaches you, a random guy, I totally understand. It probably is going to creep you out a little bit. You're going to be like, what the hell's going on? Like, what should I do if something goes wrong? Blah, blah, blah. Totally get that. A majority of the time, you're nervous, so you might say something incorrect and you might end up regretting it. Totally get that. But, in my opinion, because you're attractive and you have to see real world events, when you're attractive as a guy, 99% of the time a girl's not going to approach you unless you're famous of some sort. But 99% of the time when a woman is attractive as hell, a guy's going to approach you. And then we got to deal with the rejection, because 99% of the time it happens. And honestly, for my sake, that's why I don't go up to girls and I'm, ask them or anything. If you come up to me and you start a conversation, I'm going to start a conversation with you and it'll leave at that point. Maybe I'll say like, hey, how you doing? Or like, wave at you just to be nice, but I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you're beautiful, like right away, like, and stuff like that, because I don't like rejection and I don't like the feeling of it afterwards. Like, I really, really think that men have it harder out here in dating than women do. That's just me. A vibe is a vibe. Both parties have it. But as a dude, in 2025, in the modern world, the ability, the mentality of trying to explain to a woman like your intentions almost goes out the window. Because, again, 99% of them really don't know what the hell they want. And it sucks to say that. I'm trying to find myself a relationship, a committed relationship, not even just a serious relationship. But again, I don't go up to women that are incredibly stunning, because I just, just ain't it. But I might compliment it and say like, hey, nice fit, nice shoes, I like the shoes, whichever, and if the conversation goes a little bit further, then awesome. If not, then whatever. I don't know, to me, as a dude, if a girl were to compliment me, I'm taking that as a sign of like, hey, that's a hint. I think women don't take the hint. I don't think they enjoy being talked to in public. And I think that's honestly the best way to meet somebody, but it just doesn't happen nowadays. Like, for instance, a current situation I'm dealing with, right? I'm trying to meet some girl off of Bumble. And the problem is that she doesn't have Snapchat. Okay, so I was like, all right, fine, I'm gonna give her my number. Then I'm like talking to her. She seems super sweet. She's got a great career. A year or two younger than me. But I'm like, I asked a question, do you like to FaceTime? And she's like, no, I'm not really a fan. I'm like, bruh, do you see what I mean? Like, but then she's like, oh, I guess I completely understand because a lot of people don't want to be catfished. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of why I'm trying to FaceTime you to see what you look like and see what you sound like versus me and you being like, oh shit, because I've had that happen before. And let me tell you, fellas, it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. I don't care how, down there you're really feeling it. It ain't pretty. I'm sure girls, you've been in the same position, but man, I think the confidence from us dudes is just to be with the bros and that's it. And if something happens, like a girl comes up to us and is like, hey, you're really cute, or I like the fit, that's a sign. But if we do the same thing, it's almost like, yeah, no. That's just me. Brothers, I don't know if you can relate. I mean, I'm sure there's 10,000 different possibilities of that you guys can think and comment below of like why, in your opinion, you think guys have a harder time in the dating world than girls do. That's just me. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're in the hookup culture, that's a whole different story. I don't want to even get into that. I'm just talking about relationships, period. So, subscribe if you're new, I guess. And I'll see you soon.